Hello and welcome to Mediacafe Travel. Be sure to subscribe by hitting the red button below or right at the bottom right hand corner of this video and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our amazing videos. Today we highlight the Las Vegas Sportsbook experience. We're going to show you a lot of the different sportsbooks in Las Vegas and tell you just a little bit about them. First, we're going to start at Luxor, and we're going to do a series of BetMGM sportsbooks. As you can see, this is the traditional sort of sportsbook. It's all branded BetMGM, so all the MGM hotels have their sportsbooks labeled as BetMGM. You may have seen our video from Biloxi, and BetMGM is actually a restaurant as well as a sportsbook. But most of the sportsbooks in Las Vegas are just the sportsbooks, and they're called BetMGM. They all have kiosks. They all have seating like this. Obviously the classic board. You can see everything and all the screens. So this is a great place to watch games. It's a wonderful atmosphere when playoffs are happening or championships. I've never been for instance, the Final Four or anything of that nature, but I've seen a lot of playoffs in Vegas, and the sports books are always happening and hot. That was Luxor. This is Mandalay Bay's BetMGM, and Mandalay Bay has a larger sports book and a little bit more open, so their screens are bigger. They certainly do have a lounge area inside the BetMGM sportsbook, and like a small little area. Obviously, this is after the reopening and very recently, so you can see the signs for social distancing and things of that nature. But this is, again, another angle of the BetMGM Sportsbook at Mandalay Bay. And as you can see, these are very large screens. So this gets really loud, especially during football games. I remember last year's playoffs, and the San Francisco game was hugely viewed at this sportsbook. I happened to be there, and people went crazy. Of course, Bellagio is also part of MGM, and Bellagio Sportsbook fits the design of Bellagio. It's very elegant, actually. It's right near their poker room as well, so you can see they do have a sports bar near their sportsbook. But again, it's classically designed. It's open air, a lot like the Mandalay Bay, so it's not as sort of condensed as a sports book. But you can see the seating area, the large screens, the big boards. Aria, they have a sports book as well, which is located near their poker room. Again, all the MGMs are BetMGM Sportsbooks. As you can see, there's a pizza joint called Moneyline Pizza. We previewed that in one of our other videos, so be sure to check that out with the Aria restaurant video that we did. You can see Moneyline Pizza right outside this sportsbook. This was, again, after the reopening, so a lot of signage for social distancing and keeping you aware. This sportsbook is not quite as open as Bellagio or Mandalay Bay, but you can see the seating area is really comfortable, and they do have a lot of kiosks at this particular one. And again, screens everywhere. Screens are all over this particular sports book. This one is kind of a cool sports book area. I like the seating design of this one. They do have a few big screens, but as you can see, BetMGM does have these kiosks pretty much everywhere. Even in Biloxi, when we did a video about the sports books in Biloxi and the sports grills there. But as you can see, very comfortable seating area. Not just chairs sitting around. You've got couches and other things. But again, Aria Sportsbook is certainly one of the newer ones, so it benefits from a newer sort of design of sports books. But very comfortable if you can find a seat. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you have to book in advance. But as you can see, social distancing markers on the floor, even if you're in line to place a bet with the associates there. But again, MGM, all their sports books are called BetMGM these days. So that's something to take note of. So right across from Aria is the Cosmopolitan. So getting away from MGM properties now, and we're going to show you a little bit of the Cosmopolitan Sportsbook. And the Cosmopolitan Sportsbook has a lot of gaming inside the sportsbook area, but they do have a sports bar, really a nice sports bar in the middle of their sportsbook area. You see the big boards in the background, and then of course the big screens on the side. A lot of lounge chairs as well. So this is sort of the modern take on the sportsbook that you'll see these days, and less of the sort of boxy, just plain seating that was popular as sportsbooks were concerned. But as you can see, it's very lively in this particular sportsbook at Cosmo, but it's right off the floor and right near the front entrance actually to the Las Vegas Strip. So it's if you're coming in from the Strip, you'll see it right away on your left-hand side. But again, there's a lot of gaming right near the sportsbook. But again, this is one of the newer designs. But here is Paris, and Paris is a little bit more of a classic design. And of course, Paris is part of Caesar's system. So as you can see, Caesar's system is going to be slightly different. They all have similar signage as well. But as you see, before you get to the sports book, there is a sports bar. So certainly, just like many of the other ones we've seen, there's a sports bar in some of these. And this is a little bit older sports book. So you can see they've got the counters a lot. They've got the big board as you enter on the right-hand side. A lot of screens. This is not quite as big as some of the other ones, so the screens they don't have the gigantic screens that you may suspect. But again, you'll see that it's a lot of social distancing and a lot of counters in this particular sportsbook, which was sort of the older sort of design. The classic design was a lot of counters where people had their betting sheets in front of them as they sat and watched the games. So this is Paris, and certainly a fine sportsbook. Functional for sure, but a little bit different in terms of design. Now let's go to Venetian, and Venetian has a sportsbook as well. Venetian sportsbook is certainly a fairly newer design. The Venetian sportsbook, and they also had Palazzo sportsbook, which isn't open at the moment. But obviously social distancing, you can see masks required, but their screens are very vibrant. And they have sort of a newer style. I mean, they do have counters, and you can sit there with betting sheets as well. So it's not quite as loungy as we saw in the Aria. They do have a sports bar right there. So all your drinking needs. And right nearby this particular sports book is Black Tap, which is a great burger joint that you can get. And also a noodle shop. Noodles Asia is right by the sports book. So all your food needs are right nearby. But here is what we're going to sort of spend a little more time on. Brand new sports book called The Book at Linq. And this one is certainly, again, Linq is part of the Caesar's system. So here you see the big boards. Here you see the lounge area of the book. And again, this is the modern design, very loungy. This sports book area is meant to lounge in, and they have some wonderful features that we're going to sort of show you. And one of the big features is the food here is actually supplied by Guy Fieri's restaurant. So you can sit in the sports book and order from the menu of the Guy Fieri restaurant, which is located also at the Linq. But again, this is a very unique sort of lounge designed sports book, and so very fun. And very, very comfortable. I mean, this lounge area certainly way more comfortable than the traditional sports books with the counters and those things. You can see the sports bar back there, but again, we talked a little bit about the kind of food you can get here at the book, and that comes straight from Guy Fieri's restaurant. The footage we were showing, there was not football going on. Otherwise, this area would probably be very packed. So I would recommend getting a reservation if it's football or playoffs or whatever the in-demand sport is going to be. I would recommend getting a reservation so you ensure that you get a seating area. But this was again really unique. I love the new design. they do have some special features that you'll see here as we go forward. So as you can see, this is a remote that controls all those screens in front of you. So the attendant is showing us how to use the remote. You can choose volume for whichever screen you want. You can split the screens. You can, they give you the menu of all the sporting events that are going on and which channels they're on. So this is really a unique sort of system that you have the controls at your fingertips. So any of the screens in front of you in the seating area, you control. You can turn just one large screen on, or you can split it into 4 screens, as you see here. Again, though, you notice the PlayStation terminals. You could play PlayStation games in the sports bar, in the sports book. I mean, if you wanted to, those are available to play. So again, we're going to show you some of the food though. There's the nachos already sitting there. But again, this is a wonderful little lounge to really just enjoy the experience. If you're there early for the game and you want to play PlayStation, just break it out. Just grab it, and just go for it. But these, this is again a lounge area. So this, the eating experience has to be sort of taken into account as a lounge. But as you can see here, the nachos and the salsa you can start off with. The only, the presentation of the food is the only drawback I would say, because they come in to-go boxes from the Guy Fieri's restaurant rather than plates, which is perfectly fine, I believe. If you want to have plates, in sports, you should go to Legacy's Stadium, which is a great sports grill in Venetian, actually in Palazzo side. But here you can see the Dragon's Breath chili, one of the menu items. Before that, the double barrel barbecue wings. The Dragon's Breath chili is made with slow cooked beef and pork. So again, all these are Guy Fieri recipes. That's the Hawaiian huli chicken sandwich with fries that you can see. There's also the dynamite shrimp, but if you want to get more exotic, you can get the lobster lollipops, which is fried tempura style lobster. Again, all of this is sort of not your average sportsbook menu item, so that's what makes the book really cool, is that you get some really good food as well as a great lounge area to watch your sports and, of course, bet if you want. So since this video, of course, some more sports books have opened as hotels have opened, but the book was a really fun place to bet as well as watch the sports. So like this video, subscribe, and Thanks for watching. See you next time.